a big challenge out there, because remember, if he's left hand dominant, he was born with a function of writing that was supposed to happen with his left hand out of the right brain. Now he's writing with his right hand and it's happening out of his left brain. So his left brain and right hand needs to do a job he wasn't born to do. Because remember, this is genetic. It's the way you are born. Now, kids in school, when they do that, there could be an issue of putting the information from the brain into the writing. Lots of kids, especially when they have to start doing cursive writing, the print is okay, because remember, when they're small children, they have a look at books and all the books are printed. But now, usually by grade 3, 4, they must start doing that cursive writing. And some of those kids, between the brain and this right hand, it's like there's just a glitch in the system, and it's very, very difficult for them. Sometimes, I don't know if you struggled at school sometimes to get the writing, or maybe even today, it's like, it's all but it's like it just doesn't want to go on the paper. And that's unfortunately what happens. So, yes, if, say for instance, sorry, I'm using you as an example, are you okay with it? Okay, sorry, I didn't even ask. And that is so important that we can test children. We can test children from the age of 3 years, so that if we know they're a left-hand dominant person, to help them when they're swapping hands a lot, to start writing with their right hand. Because our world is very right-handed. We greet with the right hand. Most of the doors open with the right hand. So you see these things happening and then you learn to do it that way. So if we can have kids so that they write, it's such a big important thing already just to write with your dominant hand. Okay? That's with the hands. And that's a little bit on the left hand. The right hand, they usually the structured hands. They like routine. They like to have things in order, because remember now this right hand works out of the left brain. Left brain is structured and like to do all things in order. Then we have a look at the eyes. Now some people are right eye dominant and some people are left eye dominant. Now I need somebody to hold the mic for me so I can just quickly show you how we can test the eyes. So if somebody can help me to hold my mic so I can use both my hands. Thank you. Okay, very easy. And I want you guys to, we can later on maybe test each other and see, are we left eye or right eye dominant? Now first of all, remember, we're talking about dominance, and sometimes like your hand can influence an eye or an ear. So what we do when we test, we start low at the body, we hold our arms straight like this, and we make a little triangle in between our hands like this. Now, sir, can I use you with a nice hat there in the red? Oh, you both got red. Will you please stand up for me? Just there. You can stay there, just there where you are. Keep your hands straight. Make that little triangle, make it a bit smaller. Make it smaller, still smaller. A bit bigger. That's it. Okay, now I want you to, while you keep your arms straight up, you lift them up so that you can look into my face through that little hole between your hands, like this. Lift it up. Hold your arms straight. Okay. Close your right eye for me. Now you can't see me. Is that true? Yeah. Okay, so you are right eye dominant. If you have a look at it, okay, keep down again, because now your arm starts moving. Just keep it up. Okay, another right eye dominant person. Okay, who was left? Who tested? Who did we test? Who were the other day were left eye dominant? Oh, there we go. Eva. Eva's a left eye dominant person. Thank you. That's the way we test it. It's the easiest way. You will be amazed how you actually look with your dominant eye, although you look with both eyes. Okay, so this is one of the easy. Can we test her? Just take your arms down quickly. Okay, put them up again. First make a little, yes. Okay, no. Close your right eye. You can't see me then if you close your right eye. So you're also right eye dominant. The right eyes are the detail eyes. They usually quickly see when a picture is askew or something is not in order, or they can see spelling mistakes easily. Left eyes. Left eyes are usually your sensitive eyes. So they're sensitive to what they're watching. They're sensitive to what they're seeing. So if you've got a little young child and you look very unhappy and cross today, they're first of all going to think, oh, what have I done wrong? Oh, why is this person so unhappy? Oh, they just want to see people happy. Hey, Eva, you want to see people happy. That's important for you, to see people happy. The left eyes are your very creative eyes. Left eyes also like to, as kids, they like to pick up, or even as adults, collect things. They like to go and collect. Some boys, they will always pick up, left eye boys. They like to pick up every rock that they can get, they will pick it up. The challenge in school with left eyes actually see on the right hand first. We are writing and reading from the left side. So like the old cameras, between the left eye and the brain, they actually need to swap the whole picture and all the words around. So lots of people with left eyes are being said as dyslexic, because they change numbers around and even words around. Not always are they dyslexic. It can be that they're left eyes. Okay, because remember, from the right-hand side that they read, they need to swap around and start reading on the left-hand side. The chances that these kids miss information in the middle of a sentence is very big. And unfortunately, it's those kids that will know the information the evening before the exams. Mom will ask him all the questions and he knows it like this. After he's written exams, getting his results, he thinks to himself, how did I miss this? How did I not see it? Just a reason could be that he misread it. Now, there's a small thing, sorry, I left it in my bag there. A very, very small thing that we can use to help these kids when they're reading. Oh, and some of the teachers, they get so cross, don't read with your finger. If it's a left-eye child, he reads with his finger to keep his left eye there. Okay, so we can just simple paper like this with a little cut-in piece there. So when you read, you can't see those words on the other side. Okay, so you don't miss detail. That is the great thing, if you know and if you can apply. It's one little things that we can help kids at school. So check those left eyes. And the left eyes, oh, they like to wonder. Oh, they like to dream. So in class, if the teacher is getting bored, that left eye would see the spider web. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that spider. Wow, what about Spider-Man? Oh, I can be Spider-Man. And there goes the whole imagination. So if we know it's left eyes, we make sure they can rather sit and draw while you're talking. Keep the left eye there. They can draw but still listen to you. Little things like that that can help. Left eyes are sensitive to what they see. If they have a teacher that they love, especially the young ones, because they usually keep with one teacher. So today, teacher comes in the class, but it looks like she cried the whole night. And now you sit there in class, shame. I wonder what's wrong with this teacher. I wonder what happened. If that child is a left eye and he knows himself, he will put up his hand. We teach them that. Ma'am, are you okay today? Now ma'am says, no, you know what? I had such a favorite cat and my cat died. I'm so unhappy today. Now the brain immediately say, okay, shame. That's okay. Now I can concentrate to the teacher in the class. Okay. There's a bit on the right eye. Your detail eye, those kids are usually having good sense for maths and science. Usually spelling is not a problem, unless you a right eye and a right brain dominant person, and you're stressing. If you stress, that left brain switches off. Then your right eye can't see the detail anymore. So you have to have the whole brain function. They diagnostic, problem solving, and they don't like other people's emotions. They don't like to see it. And that's why with left eyes, please, they must not work in emergency rooms where they see all these things, bad things, people that's in tears and pain. It will kill them as a person. And that's why so many people are unhappy in their jobs today, because they have these little things that they don't know how to cope with, and it's frustrating them. But if they know it, they can rather, if we can help them from kids, first place, not getting into the wrong career. While the right eyes will be affected, sure, okay, it's bad, but it's not that emotionally affected to them. So they can be in the ER room because it's not affecting them. Okay. So the problem is in our schools and our children today is, I can't understand in class. Nothing is making sense. Maybe the child has really a difficult environment at home. When he gets to school, he's stressed. If we can teach teachers before they start with their class, after break, a few crossover exercises, a few breathing exercises, just to get both brains working so that that kid can be at his best. It would be so much better for the teachers as well as for the children. With genetic brain profiling, we can actually see who's your designers, the music. Guys, if we've got people with left ears are your born musicians. It's those kids of people, or the teachers get across because somebody is making a noise with a pencil or with anything. They're making noise. Lots of times it's your left ears. They need to make music. If they don't make music, they get frustrated. Okay, so if we know that, we can make sure this child starts learning to play an instrument, because that energizes him. That makes him happy. But the left ears, once again, is your sensitive to hearing. If you are talking too high or too hard to a left ear, they'll just switch off. And you know what? I had such a bad relationship with my eldest son. Because I've got a loud voice. I used to do drama. So when I get cross or excited, my voice goes up like this and the volume is just there. Now for the two right ear kids in my house, I can scream, then they actually listen. But for my left ear son, I lost him. it's like this. And nothing happens, he's not changing, he's not listening. And now I know he just couldn't. It was too hard, it was too loud, he switched off. Now, when he's naughty and drives me against the wall, I will do my breathing exercises. We call it nice hookup. We hook up, we breathe, and then I'll talk to him in my lowest possible voice. And I will tell him, my son, that which you have done today is totally wrong. This and this and this is the better way to do it. And you know what? He can actually listen to me and take it in. It's the same as what we've heard this morning. How do we treat our kids? Okay? And those kids, and then we get cross with them because they're not listening to us. In the meantime, maybe our voice was just too hard or too loud. Even the teachers. I mean, you guys know how sometimes, I take my hat off for any teacher. Because some of them have 30, 40, maybe more kids in a class. Each with their own individual ways, each of their own frustrations. And then when they get naughty and loud, what does the teacher do? Start screaming to try and calm them down. And the poor left ears just switch off. Okay, that's about left ears. Mirror writing. A lot of the time with mirror writing, that could be your left eyes as well. There's the tone of voice. Foot-eye coordination. We can help kids make sure they play in the best sport. We had a girl, she did, and I can't remember now exactly which one it is. It was one of the karates, so they have all these things they have to do. And she was so good, but when she gets to the top competitions, it's like every time she can't do what she has to do. And you know what? She had a left eye. So left eyes don't want to hurt people. So even unconsciously, when she's in this fight, hopefully, or they're trying not to hurt each other, but sometimes they do. It's like she's unconsciously holding back. If she knew this when she was a child, it was not a sport that she would ever do. Even, I don't know who of you watch rugby, but coming from my culture, being Afrikaans, and the dads, the boys, they play rugby, okay? And now you get these big boys. They're like 8 years old, but they're big. So what does the coaches do? They put them in front. If you've got a left-eye child in front there, you're killing that child. First of all, what he sees, he can't handle that confrontation, that conflict. It's bad for him. And now, he sees his dad, and now he's not performing, and his dad is unhappy. It kills him as a person. Can you understand the importance of how careful we must be? And it's not just for kids. It's us adults. That's why there's so many communication problems. Okay. There's the distracted one. Life outside there is just so much better than spending it in class. Oh, there's the disruptive behavior, And sometimes this disruptive behavior is just misunderstanding. If we can understand ourselves, remember the doctor also said before in the video that we watched, first understand yourself. And then when you can manage yourself, then you can help manage the kids. The great thing when we do the genetic brain assessment, we can actually pinpoint a lot of things. We can, and please guys, we don't put anybody in a box. Although we put you under a profile, we are not putting you in a box. There's still differences between people. But what we can do, we can actually compare the profile with the ideal scholar so that we can see where the frustrations will be in school so that we can work against it. When we start looking at careers, because that is what we're talking about today, taking children from a young age, making sure that they're healthy adults one day. We can actually see relationships with people. Rarely pressure, sell and negotiate. Oh, this person is good. Enjoy selling and negotiating. Okay. And then we can actually compare it with a specific career. Like this profile, it's an L profile, and we've compared it to a criminal psychologist. Can you see the gray areas? This is where this person and the job is exactly the same. So this is a very good match. Here we've got an instance where the person and the job is a little bit far away, and we see the job requires that this person likes to be around people. But this person seldomly misses others' company. The rest is awesome. So this person knows I need to make outside my working environment a lot of time to spend on my own, so that part of my being will be satisfied as well and not frustrated the whole time. There's the thinking style. So in school we can pick up the right brainers from the left brainers and what they like and not like, so we can assist the kids. And this is the same in the working place. Oh, here you can see. Big difference. This job requires adapts approach to different situations. You're working with criminals. You have to be on top because they're forever changing things. But this person, in his being, he likes to go back to the same process. So this person would know this would be an ideal job. But if there's some way he needs to regularly make sure is that he tries new methods. Whether he needs to get it through training or just be conscious when he reacts. And that is the last part, the feelings and emotions, where we compare how you feel. This job requires really feel tense, and this person, it's in the middle. Okay, so this person will just have to make sure that on a regular basis he does relaxing, does some exercises to keep the stressing away. It's just a quick example because I can go on for hours and hours and hours about this. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of understanding of the awesomeness once you know the profile. And I'm slowly starting to finish off. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows. Okay, we get so stuck into how we've grown up. We get so stuck into our situations, but we have a choice of changing. Okay, and I hope that you can take today out of this, maybe even if you can just go around people around you and go assess what eye are they. Are they a left eye or are they a right eye? If it's a left eye, have compassion. Guys, if you take out a lady for a movie and she sits and she cries and she really cries, not a little bit, she cries. Have compassion. If she's a left eye, make sure you regularly give her something. Give her flowers. Show her love. Okay? Because she needs it.
Not African.
Okay. We'll have to teach them, hey? You see, we must not get stuck in culture or in ways that we are used to, and we can get so comfortable in those things. We must try new ways, better ways. Okay? And then if we know it's a left ear, we know that that person needs to hear it. I love you. That child needs to know I care for you. The left eye wants to see the star there in his book. You can tell him, well done. If he's a right ear and a left eye, and you tell him, well done, okay. But if he sees the star, he says, oh, wow, I've done well. The right ears, if you're working for somebody and he's a right ear, and there's an issue or you want something, don't go with this long story. Right ears are impatient. Bullet points, guys. Bullet points. Then you'll get a reaction. Okay? He does not want, he's going to switch off. Just give the facts. Okay. I hope this was meaning something to you, and I hope we can go out from here and really start applying this. Sam, I've got a big vision. There's so many kids out there that just by knowing a few things, understanding themselves. I had a big issue. You know, my sister, she's a left-brainer. She's an accountant. It seems like her life is just all in order. And you know, when you get older, and when you reach the age of 40, and I'm long past that, but when you reach the age, or when I reached the age of 40, I think, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Your sister's life is like this, and you're busy with this, and you're busy with this, and then you're changing your home, and then you do this. And that's awesome, because you know what? I'm a right-brainer. That's what I'm supposed to do. I used to be in sales, and then I keep to a company, and then I change. Or I'll wake up one day and I'll say to the boss, I can't come in now. I'll be 2 hours late. I have to go to the hairdresser now. Okay, now. Okay? And then I have to go cut my hair. And then tomorrow morning I wake up and I said, oh no, what have I done? I shouldn't have cut my hair. That I was bored. Adult right-brainers need a new challenge every 18 months. That's why lots of times salespeople change jobs so quickly. Not because they're so unhappy with what they're doing or what they're selling. They're bored. If you know you're a right-brainer and you're doing good in your sales, don't necessarily change job. Go do a photography course. Go study astronomy or anything. Just get the right brain going. That's the important thing. I just want to use myself as an example as well. When we get into the stress, I'm an L profile. So what that means is I'm right brain, right eye, right ear, right foot, right hand. So all my modalities works out of my left brain. So you know what? If I'm stressed, I'm useless. The things will fall out of my hand. I will be busy working, but nothing is happening because I can't operate quickly. Previously, I'll be in a state, be frustrated, get home, and I think, oh my gosh, that cupboard needs repacking. Because all my modalities work out of my left brainer. If you work in circumstances with me, you will think, sure, this is a left brainer. My things are in order, I'm on time, everything needs to be neat, structured, but because it's all this modality. So I get home and I repack the cupboard. I'm not feeling better. And then I start with the kids. Come, sort out these rooms and do this and do this. And it's not better. Now that I know myself, my first of all thing I ask is, when last have you been creative? Now I'm so busy with my left brain, and my right brain is actually my dominant brain. He's screaming, I want to be creative. What do? Get my youngest, who's also very creative. Come son, are we going to colour in? Are we going to paint? Half an hour later, that cupboard actually is nothing wrong with. Okay, it was me. Or I just ask myself, when last have you had me time? Okay, kids, 6 o'clock, everybody's fed. Daddy, go to your study. You can come to bed 10 o'clock, okay? But till 10 o'clock, the bedroom and the bathroom is mine, okay? Stay away, You only come and call on me if there is an emergency. Okay, so that is the way, if you know your profile, how you can better manage it to have a better relationship. I've got a little video that I want to show you. Unfortunately, it's not about kids. I didn't have one to show the effect about kids, but we can apply it back to the kids as well and in relationships. So I just want to show it to you and finishing off by that. Yes, let's get to the video. How do I get this to play, Sam? This is the video. I can't find a little play.
And how their brain profiles work for and against them. John is right brain dominant, which makes him creative, like challenges, and prefer flexibility. Betty is left brain dominant, which makes her prefer logic and structure. Can you see where things could already go wrong between them? John has a sensitive left eye, which makes him good at reading body language. Betty has a sensitive left ear, which makes her sensitive to tone of voice. John's right ear makes him an impatient listener who wants everyone to get to the point fast. Betty's left hand makes her a natural communicator and she loves talking a lot. Since opposites attract, John and Betty fall in love and get married. But things can unravel soon if they are not careful. Let's have a look at a day in their life. John is on his way to work and says goodbye to his lovely bride. But she forgot to ask him what time he'd be home for dinner. And being the left-brainer she is, she wants the food to be ready when he gets home and she needs to plan everything accordingly. So she picks up the phone.
Hi. Drop off right now. Bye.
Oh, that phone call did not go too well for Betty. Strangely, John thinks he did nothing wrong and continues with his day. His meeting went well and he's in a good mood. But Betty is very upset about John's harsh tone on the phone, and she can't help but wonder what she had done wrong to have made him so mad at her. All day long, she thinks of everything she could have done that John would disapprove of, and at some point, she starts getting mad. Why would he use such a tone on her? He never considers her feelings. She only wanted to ask a quick question. Couldn't he have spared an extra moment to listen? By the time John gets home, Betty is fuming. And she didn't feel like cooking dinner either. John sees how upset his wife is, and he wonders what he had done wrong to get her so upset. He tries to explain, but she won't hear it. Pretty soon, he is just as mad as she is, and they are accusing each other of irrational things. Oh boy, did that go wrong. Sadly, if they had known their own and each other's genetic brain profile, that day could have gone so different. Everything is the same as the previous scenario, but when Betty calls John, this is how it goes.
Hi. Hi, Betty. How are you? I'm on my way to Kopanong. Can I call you back later?
Sure. Call me when you can. Bye.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Betty knows that John will call her when he gets a chance later. He might forget at first because of his right brain, but he will eventually call. And when he does, he gives her a time frame in which he will be home, because he knows if he gives a specific time and he doesn't make it, she will be upset. In this way, they can accommodate each other and respect each other for the way they think and do things. Of course, John's meeting went well, and when he gets home in his given time frame, Betty has a lovely meal ready for them and they joyfully swap stories about their respective days. And that is the power of the genetic brain profile.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the opportunity just to give you a little bit of insight about the wonderfulness of knowing your genetic brain profile. And the great thing about this, it's not like other assessments which can change because of your situations. You are born with it. And I think we must really go out there and try and understand ourselves first. That there's so many kids out there that needs to know this, to understand it, to help them
to better cope at school, and at the end of the day, just to be the best them that they've been created. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Heleen. Can we have tea break now? Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. Set the rules and break them. Induku. I like the way he posts about Induku. So every time I see his posting, I remind myself that that's really the rule must stick to. So we're gonna have tea break, and then when we come back, my friend Zonke will talk about something different but related to children. Yeah. We do all these nice things. These are our children. We love them. Don't come closer to them. I do what I want with them. So she's going to talk to us about children rights. Am I right? Yeah. Now we're going to now that we have learned all these tricks, they have the rights that we have to respect. And these are not the rights that they created by us. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. After that, because I see so many of you have got a lot of questions to clarify certain things so that when you go to mini LEKGOTLA, you can really go deeper. I will allow maybe 20 minutes, just questions for clarity. Not additional, just for clarity, because the mini LEKGOTLA's purpose is to drill down into the topics. Yeah? Cool. 10 minutes break, coffee break to 15, latest 15 minutes. Yeah. I know you're gonna want to start engaging with it, but just focus on your break, please, and come back so that Zonke can take us through the children's rights. Thank you. And thanks, Heleen, that was beautiful.